And now, what you've all been waiting for. It's Coin Op TV Live, starring Robert Welkner and the lovely Hailey Bright. And now, keep it up for your host, Robert Welkner.
Welcome to Coin Op TV Live on the stream.tv, a show about the video game industry, culture, people, and events with your host, Robert Welkner, doing it up. Very exciting show tonight. If you know what footsies are, if you know what air juggles are, then we got a cool show for you tonight because we got my man Gootecks in the house talking Street Fighter. Let him give a pre-Gootecks. We also got an interview we did at the Comic-Con from the team at Tekken 6 on Tekken 6. And speaking of the Comic-Con, we also have some photos and highlights from the San Diego Comic-Con. Very happy to be back from our week off while we were away. Before we get to the show, let me introduce our team and move on from there. So first up, my lovely co-host, the person that helps me run things, Miss Hailey Bright. Woohoo!
Hey Rob, what's up?
Hailey, tonight we have such a huge crowd in the audience that every applause may go for a long time. So just put your hand up, tell them to calm down, because we got business at hand. With that, how are things?
That's like a bad rap dance, Rob.
Go. Go, Hailey.
Just kidding.
Go, Hailey. So how are things going with the chat room? What's going on your end over there?
Well, I want to give a shout out to some people in the chat room. Let's see, Eco Bong, Alora Star, Cup Check, Rad Nerd, dude. Rad Nerd's like in our studio. This happens every week. I'm like, Rad Nerd.
Don't waste your time trying to explain that. It's an anomaly.
Alora Star, Assassin. Let's see. Let's go to this chat room. Smart Monkey, Zombeef. I've never seen you. Zombie.
The zombie version of Zangief.
Gage and Rage, Woozy, and never mind, I can't say his name.
And also, very cool. And Hailey, before the show, Swizzy in Florida said he was going to tune in, so I don't know if he's hiding and lurking about one of the chat rooms there. Yay. So what's up to him? So let me introduce the rest of our team, the guy who runs the stream.tv and also participates in Coin Op TV Live, Mr. Brian Gramo.
ODST dropping in. All units. Elephant selected. All units. All units. All units, local units. All units. All units, local units. If you play Halo Wars, you just hear that over and over and over again. I'm just kind of all units, local units. All units, local units.
What is he talking about, Rob?
Brian.
If you press left bumper, all units. If you press right bumper, local units. All units.
See, Hailey, what happens is we go away for a week.
Local units.
We go away for a week while Brian stays around here working and playing video games, and I guess he's stuck on this Halo thing. A little action, having a little fun while we're off doing some reporting down at the Comic-Con. But Brian, see if you can work that out of your system before Gootecks gets on the show.
Drink Moxie's like, silly, Brian, you're the only one that plays Halo Wars. No, there's 10,000 other people at any time playing along with me, and I do hate the game. The multiplayer is fun. I do hate the game in general, though.
Very cool. So in case you guys are wondering, we are a live interactive show. If you want to reach out to us, if you're not in the chat room, the best way to hit up a question or concern is by instant messenger. It's thestream.tv, spelled out, no punctuation, no marks. It's interesting, tonight I have a delay on the monitor that I'm looking at, so this looks very strange to me.
Looks strange to us too, Rob.
And only me. If I can only capture that somehow for you guys at home to
Rob,
witness.
there's been a 15-frame delay forever here.
Yeah, most of my jokes are on a 15-minute delay.
we call that a joke grenade in the biz. You know, you tell the joke, and then people laugh,
Hailey, duck and cover. We got 10 more seconds. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's get on with the show here. We got the shout-outs. We've established Brian Gramo is insane, but I'm the guy running the ship now, and I want to talk about
Wow, we should pay more money for our production.
My broken pen. Well, I won't be making any notes the rest of tonight with that. But I want to talk about the Comic-Con and the swag down there and some of the good times we had. So, Hailey, I brought some swag. Let's see. Here we go. We'll start small. Brutal Legends is coming out soon. We got this cool iron-on stickery thing that was going around. Also, Tron made an appearance. So the Tron movie viral action made an appearance, and they had these cool Flynn tokens that were given away. And also, I got my Flynn T-shirt. I want to talk about that shortly. Another cool thing. I don't know how cool this is, but I went to the Microsoft party and I got this really cool like coaster, and it's just like it's rock solid. It's like not going anywhere at all. So. Not really swag, but you know, if you want to hurt somebody or you want a good coaster. But another cool thing from the Comic-Con was the team Pandemic was there showing off the Saboteur, and they gave me this cool lighter, which is a replica of what the character in the movie, in the video game is using to ignite things. Apparently, they let him smoke and stuff in the video game, so that's pretty cool. Also, I got some posters. Hailey, I'm very excited. I brought a poster back. Our man Robert Workman, the DCD, is in the studio tonight, and I thought, well, let me bring him back a gift. So I got this awesome Brutal Legends signed poster for him as a gift from Tim Schafer. So that's for you. Uh-oh. Lock up your children. Give me that rubber band. Hailey, there's something about feet rushing towards you when you're doing a live show. You're not quite sure if a light's going to fall down right in front of you, anything like that. Pen may explode around you. There's the DCD. Cool. And then also our friends who do imockery.com had a booth there, Roger and the team, and they had these awesome like retro 8-bit posters, and he gave me one of those with like about 300 retro video game 8-bit characters and icons from the 80s. So go to imockery.com.
I could totally see where Waldo was in that.
You saw one? You found him?
Yeah, that's pretty quick. It was easy.
Brian, here's my goal tonight, in case you don't catch up on this. I'm going to mention every other show ahead of me in the ratings tonight, and then I'm going to go back and use all those shows' keywords in CoinOp TV, so I move back up into one of the top shows on the site. Right, Ethan Newberry of Real Cool Kids Club? Real Cool Club Kids? For some reason, that's one of the shows.
You better be careful. You better be careful, Rob. He'll redub you.
He'll redub me. I did enjoy Spurlock was on. If you guys are fans of Unsportsmanship, was Spurlock from Super Size Me was on. Who was on FilmNet this week? Anybody famous?
It was Vic Sahay from Chuck, the guy that works at the Buy More at the NBC series Chuck.
All right, you guys are all going in my keywords on this episode. So Hailey, I know what you're saying. You're saying how posters, stickers, that's not the kind of thing to come home from Comic-Con, right, Hailey? You're thinking to yourself, there's something big waiting, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Right. Well, our friends over at Capcom did a limited edition Street Fighter. Have made a limited edition Street Fighter 4 controller. It was 500 made, 250 for Xbox, 250 for the PlayStation 3, and so I picked that up. So here it is on camera. I think the joystick got a bigger applause than Brian on that. I don't know.
Wait, you know, deservedly so. I mean, I've had my hands all over that, and it's amazing.
It's really cool. So, Hailey, that's what's been sitting in my lap the last 5 minutes, in case you're wondering.
Have you played with it yet, Rob?
Yeah, last night I got to play some Street Fighter High Def.
Nice.
Because I don't have my Street Fighter 4 disc.
I brought it for you tonight.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if you remembered.
Don't worry. You sent me like 5 text messages. Hey, Hailey, by the way, don't forget my Street Fighter 4 disc. Oh, Hailey, by the way. I was like, don't worry, I won't forget. Sorry.
I needed to get that because I know you're going away. But
I got text messages saying, hey, Bri, if you see Hailey before the show, a reminder that she has my Street Fighter 4 disc.
It is very important. All right, let's show a couple photos from the Comic-Con and let them know what we were up to, having some fun. Here's me and the Katamari Damacy cosplayers. And then I got a photo of Hailey. And then I got a photo of Hailey holding up a stormtrooper. Hailey, what's the genesis of this? How much money can a stormtrooper have?
I don't know. He was so cute. I just wanted to take his gun and hold him up.
So if you guys were at the San Diego Comic-Con, you met us, you saw us, we were there having a good time at the Nexon booth doing a little Dungeon Fighter presentation. Got a little video clip of that to show shortly. We were very excited to meet all you guys, have a good time. Like Hailey was saying in the pre-show, really, really cool cosplayers, but there was one that stood out, that just stopped traffic and stood out. And Hailey, do you want to intro it any more before we show the picture?
No, go ahead and show the photo.
All right, so here's Cosplayer of the Year at the San Diego Comic-Con. I kid you not, this guy was repping Obama. He had like his Secret Service people with the headphones. We were walking behind him. Haley and I wanted to get a photo, but we were so intimidated. The Secret Service guys were like holding out their hands and they were stopping, and like cars were, you know, waving and beeping. It was very interesting.
Is one of his Secret Service agents Snoop Dogg? Look at the guy behind him.
So Haley, don't ever let anybody say that CoinOp TV Live doesn't get you to meet the president, because there you go, all right?
Awesome. They were really cool. Like, I don't know. If you weren't like right up on him, you would have been like, wow, I guess that's really Obama. It was cool.
Yeah. Very cool, very cool. So, so then also at the Comic-Con, we got to go to some cool industry parties and mixers. We got to hang out at the Activision party, play a little.
I don't think I can. I'm sorry, Rob. I don't think I can show this next picture. It has Bo Ryan without his glasses on.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I'm allowed to. Am I allowed to show this?
Well, we got to check with Bo's Glasses Twitter page to see if that's okay.
His PR, his glasses PR.
So we got to play a little Singularity and Ultimate Alliance 2 coming out from Activision. So with a teaser, let's see Bo without the specs. There we are.
Quite the handsome
Where's
man.
my applause sign? Bo without the glasses.
Woo!
So that was us hanging out at the Activision party, and then also we got to hang at some of the Sony parties to check out Uncharted 2.
Oh yeah.
Ratchet and Clank.
I'm sorry, I just called it the next picture.
Ratchet and Clank, which are coming out later this year, and also you might recognize some of the people we ran into. Brian, can we check out the party picture from Sony?
Oh yeah.
There's Allison on the left. She's been around. She's got a cool Thundercat shirt on there. I thought that was real cool. And Trina, kicking it.
And what website's Trina right for now?
GamingAngels.com.
Ah, that's right, GamingAngels.com.
And all right, Brian, let me get to the T-shirt now. Let's talk Flynn's. Then we're gonna talk. We're gonna show a clip, talk some DFO. We're gonna bring Gootecks out shortly. Haley, everybody having a good time over there so far? They saw Bo without the glasses. Did he give a funny comment in the chat room of himself, since that's what he does around here?
No, I think he was behaving, unfortunately.
Is everybody else behaving?
Yeah, everyone else is good.
All right, so there was a moment on Friday night I had to ditch Haley because I heard this Flynn's Arcade was going on. It was like a recreation of the from the movie Tron, and I was just like, I gotta go. I'll see you later. And we went down there. We got the token. We got the shirt. You went inside. It was about 20 video games, old school arcade games, and I think I have a photo of that. Brian, if we could check out. Here's me in front of the Space Paranoids game, which is sort of a recreation of the original movie license game that's in Tron. If you're a fan of Tron, you got to check it out. I got to play the game. It wasn't too amazing, but it was kind of a neat little novelty. And then there was a little sort of museum section with some original artwork, and then the new light cycle from the from the new movie that's coming out, which they wouldn't let me take a picture of in front of. It was so I was a little frustrated about that, but it was cool to look at. Radnerd.com has some cool photos from that if you want to check it out. So that's what I did, Haley, when I snuck off.
Yeah, you did kind of. Rob was just like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going for a walk. I was like, okay, we just got to the party. No, I'm going for a walk. I was like, you're up to something. I knew where you were going.
You knew where I was going.
Arcade.
And since Haley Bry was with me for Comic-Con, no reason to bring her any goodies back, but Brian Gramo, you've been such a good sport running the stream.tv. We brought you back your own matching Flynn's Arcade t-shirt. Hopefully we can double date with at some time in the future.
That was the first thing I thought. Hopefully we can double date in the future. Read my mind.
So that's for you, Brian Gramo.
Thanks, Rob.
Haley, any other goodies or gifts before we move on?
Yes. I know, Rob, you're so busy with Comic-Con. You forgot to mention my birthday today on the show. It's okay, you mentioned it last time, but still, this is like the week after my birthday show. Anyway, the point I'm mentioning this is because look at what the DCD got me for my birthday. A Q*bert book to match my Q*bert t-shirts that you got me last week. I know, it's like a kid's book. You open it up.
Can you read me a little story, Hailey? What does Q*bert have to say?
Oh, this was the best part in the back. It tells you what he's explaining, so it's like, ding, 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 ding. And it says, this makes me angry. I'm like, I don't think that's what he's saying. And it's like, ding, 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 ding. I feel great. I'm like, no, I think that they just modified this because it's a kid's book. But I like that they're so, like, nice about it.
Well, very cool, very cool. Yeah, we did.
Yes, but if anyone wants to come over, I'll read you Q*bert bedtime stories.
Very cool, very good gift. I think DCD sent me some Pac-Man books or something for my birthday. So he's one of the few that reads novels. So very props to him on that. So very cool. All right, let's talk a little more Comic-Con, Hailey. I'm so excited. So Hailey and I were down there representing some Dungeon Fighter Online. We talked about it last time on the show, and what was cool, we had a stage and a mic, and we did our little presentation, showed a little video, and I brought some snippets from that. But first, I want to show a couple of photos because they had the cosplayers there at the booth as well. So here's I think me up first with the mage, a cosplayer, who was in character casting a spell on Hailey Bright, the camera person at the time. And then I got a photo of Hailey with the Slayer. What'd you think of the Slayer, Hailey?
He was awesome. I most like that sword that we gave away the last day.
Yeah, we had this really cool, like, it was almost like a Final Fantasy-esque big, thick sword, you know, that we gave away. And it was funny when the guy handed it to me, I was like, can I toss this out? Because that's the way it talks. I'm from Brooklyn. He was like, no, you can't toss it, but you can give it away, like very nervous and stuff. So it was pretty cool. We gave that away to a couple of fans. And in addition to like 100 t-shirts all day long, or 1 o'clock when we had our presentation. Hailey and I are a little under the weather today. We apologize, but we're getting the same amount of information to you, just a tiny bit slower. See, Ethan does this kind of stuff on his show, and he's like #1. Ethan Newberry, everybody. Woo! Oh, there he is. Woo! All right, so we saw some of the photos there. Let's get back to Dungeon Fighter Online. So what I did is I had Mike from Blank Logo take a little video of us doing our presentation, throwing out the shirts. I remixed it with the Dungeon Fighter Online trailer. Brian, how are we doing on video? Can we watch a Dungeon Fighter Online?
We can watch a Dungeon Fighter Online.
Do it.
In the land of Erat, the forces of good are locked in a battle with the forces of evil. Join the fight! So Dungeon Fighter Online comes out soon. Go to www.nexon.net. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Hailey, we didn't kill anybody with the shirts, but it seemed like everybody had a good time. I see the DCD's got a shirt. I think Brian's got one. We all got one. We're repping hardstyle, so good times. You have a good time at the Comic-Con?
Yeah, Comic-Con was really, really fun. What was your favorite part of Comic-Con, Rob?
Just getting to see everybody hanging out and, you know, celebrating your birthday as well on Sunday.
Oh, I see. Now you're plugging my birthday. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you missed it. You missed it. We had a whole big birthday party for you Sunday. We all went to the
when
Yard
I was
House.
Gone, you know.
There was like 40 of us.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I didn't know the pedicabs went as far as LA. You kind of snuck out on us there early.
Right.
All right, so Hailey, while we were there, we did do some work for Coin Op TV. We did an interview for a game that I'm very excited about, Tekken 6, which is coming out later this year. And I brought a video clip of that. We're going to show that. And then if you're in the chat room, you got some questions, concerns, we're going to touch base with you. And then we're going to bring out Gootecks. We're going to talk Street Fighter 4 and everything like that. So let's check out an interview we did. This is In Jun Wang from the Comic-Con Tekken 6.
Hey everyone, I'm Hailey Bright for Coin Op TV. We're at the San Diego Comic-Con and I caught up with In Jun Wang from the Tekken 6 team. What are the challenges of translating a famous arcade franchise into the home console market?
You know, that's a very good question. I know a lot of fans have been waiting. The Tekken 6 arcade game was introduced a couple of years ago, actually. But we have gathered all the consumer feedback and we reintroduced the advanced Tekken 6 console called Bloodline Rebellion at the end of last year. That's an improved version of Tekken 6 with new characters and new features. Now, the team is going back and based on the improved version of Tekken 6, they are building the console version to further enhance the game and including more features of the game. So it has been a very, very challenging process because the team was basically releasing 3 different iterations of Tekken games. So they've been working non-stop. So that's been very, very tough for them. But now we only have about 90 days to wait. So the fans will be very excited. I mean, it's going to be the top-notch Tekken game ever.
So Tekken 6 has really rich and vibrant 3D environments. How does one fight differently in a 3D game versus a 2D game?
You know, actually, that's a very good question. I mean, it's a definitely different type of breed. I mean, it's a fighting game, so it's going to satisfy both 2D fighting game fans and also 3D fighting game fans. But just the tactics is slightly different. Because 2D, it's more like up, down. It's a different fighting style. But 3D, you actually have to also move left and right as well. So sometimes the moves will be made, and you can actually evade the move by going left and right quickly to strategically evade the enemy attack and launch your next attack based on it. So there's definitely a different strategy involved in there.
Tekken 6, I'm so excited. Hailey, what'd you think there? You got to talk about the game, check it out. What's your impressions so far?
I love the game. I think it sounds like a lot of fun. And actually, speaking of the game, Cupcheck wants to know, Rob, this is particularly to you.
Okay.
Any idea when Tekken 6 will hit American arcades?
Well, that's it. The arcade is out, or at least the import of it is out, and this is for the console version. I think you said October 26th or something like that, so we'll look for that. Anything else for me? Or you?
Actually, Black Nerd is posing a threat. He's like, don't think a kid's book will help you beat me, H. Brizzle. I'm the Cubert. I'm the queen of Cubert.
So
Dude,
there's some smack.
You're going down.
There's
yes,
some smack talking going on
SC3
here,
arcade party a month from now. Black Nerd. I'm gonna bring my game face, dude.
So will that book help improve your Cubert skills? Is that what we're getting at here, Hailey?
I think so. Because it gives you like history knowledge and then make you smarter at gameplay. Or not. But no, I'm trying to beat him. Last time I just didn't have enough time to beat him.
Yeah, we're gonna get there early. We don't have to work this time.
Yeah, Rob and I should play. We should play as a team, Rob.
Yes, we're gonna get him.
Black Nerd, bring your partner, whoever you're gonna play with.
Cool. Anything else? Anything else before we
Why
bring?
is everyone laughing?
Anything else before we bring Ryan out, Hailey?
No. No.
It's a silly night. When we go away, it's like the babysitter was in charge last week, and now we're back. We're the adults. We're serious, you know, and we got to bring everything in control.
Yeah, we look like serious adults, Rob.
Hey, listen, Chloe put makeup on me today. I don't know how serious I can
Really?
be, you know.
What kind of makeup do you have on?
It's
Is it matte?
transparent rice powder for anti-shine.
You can only see
It
it.
looks nice, Rob.
You can only see it
No
if you're like
shine.
this close to me.
I'm actually putting on pretty much everyone lately. So most girls do their own makeup and guys don't. So we just put a little bit because we're streaming in a pretty high quality lately. So some things are more noticeable.
Do you feel prettier with the makeup on, Rob?
I actually applied my own makeup. She had to de-apply my own makeup and put on the Gramo Initiative on my forehead. So
Transparent rice powder.
I wonder if that comes in multiple colors.
It's transparent.
Haley, I write the jokes, no laughs. Make up stuff, boom. Humor out the window. All right,
All right, time for the guest.
everybody's having a good time. Let's bring out Gootecks while we're still having a good time. So if you're a Street Fighter player, fan, you know him, you love him. Ryan goes by the nickname Gootecks. He's considers himself a Street Fighter evangelist, but he plays, he competes, he commentates. He's got a podcast. He's a good all-around guy. Let's give Ryan a hand. Woohoo! Come on out. Good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to CoinOp TV Live. Very excited to have you.
Excited to be here.
We apologize. We've been a little silly tonight.
Oh, no.
There's no way we're never like this.
Never?
Yeah, we're very serious all the time.
Awesome. Glad to bring the jokes.
Well, your spirit and smile has brought the high stakes of comedy. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let me remind everybody, it's a live interactive show. If you're in the chat room and you're like, Haley, read my question. Well, it's easier to get that question in if you instant message us. It's the stream.tv, all spelled out. On AIM is a good one. I think we use Yahoo, but I'm not sure. But we want to get those in. But in the meantime, I've got my own questions to sort of get the ball rolling. Are you ready, Ryan?
I'm ready. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Cool. First of all, we met a while ago at bar fights. I was very excited.
We did.
You had a crowd there. Everybody went nuts.
Yeah, that was a lifetime ago.
It does seem like a while ago, and since then you've been going to some tournaments. So, so my first thing here is, fighting games in 2009 has kind of made a resurgence. Street Fighter 4, King of Fighters came out last week. Blaze Blue, Tekken is soon. Did they ever go away? Are they here to stay? What's the impression of fighting games?
To a lot of people, they did go away. But to those of us that have been playing the whole time, we're kind of like, well, we were here. Where have you guys been? So, yeah, I mean, on one hand, there haven't been any new games for a long time, but we were still playing the old games. So it was kind of a combination of both, really. But yeah, I mean, all the new games are coming out, and that's good.
Yeah, it almost feels like when Lucas was like, hey, I'm going to bring Star Wars back. You're like, yes, it's back. So you're like you know the ins and outs of Street Fighter, the different iterations of the games. But
Yes.
I'd like to kind of stick to like Street Fighter 4, and I want to ask you about some of the characters. Like starting off, who's good to use if you're a beginner?
If you're good, if you're just starting out, probably Zangief is the easiest because you can just kind of mash on your joystick and press all 3 punch buttons and do a lot of damage like that. Another good character to start with would be Ryu if you had previous Street Fighter experience. A lot of stuff in Street Fighter 4 is different, but a lot of the stuff is the same. So it's those two would be good to start with.
All right. So then, if you've got some experience, you want to maybe compete in some tournaments. Who's some of the good players in Street Fighter 4 to work with?
Once you get to that level, I mean, really, it doesn't matter what character you choose. It's more about your own personal skill. So even if you were picking the worst character in the game, you can still do very well in tournaments until you get to about top 8. Then you probably won't do as well. But just strictly talking about characters, I mean, starting from the top, I guess you would have Sagat and Ryu, Akuma, Balrog, and Bison, Rufus. Those would probably be, and of course, everybody out there who plays Street Fighter 4 competitively has their own list, but those are, in general, some good characters that do well in tournaments.
All right, very cool. And you mentioned Balrog in there. That's one I see you get to play a lot.
Yes, I play Balrog.
What is your thing? What does he bring to the table that you can do that nobody else can?
That's a good question. Gosh, I never had to think about it like that. For me, Balrog is just easy to play because previous to Street Fighter 4, I used to play Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and I played Urien, who is a charge character in the same way that Balrog is, where you have to hold back 2 seconds and then press a button, press forward and a button to get a special move. So when I transitioned to Street Fighter 4, I started out with Ryu and then realized that was way too hard.
Okay.
And then switched to Balrog because he was a lot easier because of the skills that I developed in Third Strike.
Very cool. Well, that makes sense. Makes sense. Very cool. Very exciting. Very exciting. We're going to talk about some Evo. Was just a couple weeks ago in Vegas. Touch on some devastation. Hailey, I just want to make sure things are going all right with you. Anybody just like capital letters, like I need to get this question in right away, like screaming yellow zonkers or anything to touch base on?
Yeah, but first of all, did you just say cool, and like, yeah, you should like just use like 2 words twice in a row.
He also said yellow zonkers.
We got a thing around here, Ryan. They tease me. I have no idea what they're talking
You're running
about.
the show, can't you just flip the switch and everybody disappears?
Yeah, Rob, I was
New co-hosts.
That's what happens to the fans. The show starts and they all disappear.
I was somewhere yesterday and this guy was like, yeah, and I, like in a row, and I was like, you sound like Rob. You just say yeah, like 3 in a row. Okay.
All right, so Ryan,
back to work.
Right.
Hold on, Rob.
All right,
it's my show.
Give me something, Hailey.
I have a question for you.
All right, go for it, Hailey.
Okay. Let's see. So Cupcheck wants to know, how did you come up with your gamer tag?
Gootecks. It's a clever name.
It's not that clever. It's probably kind of a disappointing story. When I was in 5th grade, I had a friend who I'm sure will never ever hear this story, but he called me Gootecks because my last name is Gutierrez, and I don't know, that's where the name came from. Except I spell it a little different because I thought it looked cooler. That's a terrible story.
Well, that's
terrible
cool.
story.
Hey, we want the truth here. Doesn't matter if
That's
it's
the truth.
good or bad story.
That's just bad truth.
All right, speaking of truth, all right, Hailey, we'll get back to the chatters in a second here because I'm very excited. I went to the Comic-Con, as I showed the kids before. I got this bad boy, limited edition. So I'm a noob, all right? And I've been watching some of the tournaments.
Right.
And what I want to get is I want to get the Ryan professional opinion. How do I hold this? Do I put it on my lap? Do I sit on the floor? Do I have a table? What is sort of,
Okay.
anti-noob me here with some tips?
Okay, sure. Well, a lot of people like to play on the floor, but for those of us that aren't as flexible, we can't really play on the floor.
Okay.
So another popular way to play is to just have it on your lap. Some people will have a second chair in front of them and then place the stick on the second chair like that and then kind of play like that so you have more of a steady base. But I'm so used to playing at home now that I'll just sit it on my lap. But really what's more important than that is really the way that you hold the stick and also the way that you move it, because a lot of people, they'll hold it like, a lot of people, it turns out, have never played Street Fighter in the arcade, as it turns out, which is really foreign to me. But you can just, I like to hold it in between my middle and my ring finger like that.
Okay.
And then what's really important is that you hold, you keep like the base of your wrist steady, and then it's all in like these fingers right here. So I'll be moving it with these 3 fingers. It's like 95% in these 3 fingers.
All right. I did notice when I was watching The Beast, he looked like he had that grab that you mentioned, kind of with the
Daigo the Beast.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but it's definitely. I mean, I don't know if he holds it like this or like this or like this, but in general, like this is about how you would do it.
All right. So Leo in the audience, next time I get you, you're not gonna pwn me so quickly because I'm getting some Gootecks tips here for joystick control.
Yeah, it's important. It's definitely important because, a lot of people, especially people I think that come from 3D games like Soul Calibur or Tekken, like for example, if you had to, do like low jab, low short, headbutt, a lot of people will tap down every time they have to do like low jab, or instead of just holding down and then hitting low jab. So that's an important distinction. A lot of people don't know that. It's really weird, but hey, that's great. That just means a lot of new people are coming into Street Fighter 4 that have never played Street Fighter before. So that's great, right?
Yeah, that's I'm very excited about that with the resurgence and everything. So cool. Well, you mentioned some tournament things like that. One of my questions is, what kind of you went to some of the big ones this year, Devastation, Evo, probably some other ones I can't think of off the top of my head. But what is the learning experience? What do you take away when you leave town, fight in a tournament, compete? What do you come home with?
Wow. I've never thought about that. You learn a lot of things. Most of the things have nothing to do with the actual game itself. Some of the things that I've learned is that you don't want to go to a tournament on the East Coast by yourself if you're from the West Coast.
Wait, I'm a New Yorker. What are you getting at here?
I'm getting at that New York and the East Coast in general are not friendly to outsiders sometimes. I mean, of course, it's all in good fun, but you know, when you're sitting there playing a tournament match and you're about to get pieced out, and you have 100, you know, New York and New Jersey people, you know, yelling, calling you all sorts of things that we cannot say on the show. You realize, hey, man, I should have brought a couple people with me.
All right. Next time you go back east, I'm gonna get some of my East Coasters to, to get in your corner.
Yes, it would be good to call some of these guys some names. That would be good.
Very cool, very cool. All right, Hailey, let's get over to you and see what's going on. Let's line it up a bit here. We got any questions or concerns for Ryan?
Yes. You want some questions?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Well, Daytruth88 says Gootecks trains like 30 hours a day. Obviously, there's not 30 hours in a day. So I was curious, how many hours a day do you train?
Yeah. How do you sleep?
I do sleep. I do sleep. The thing is, I was playing a lot. Okay, this is the reason that I'm here. Street Fighter 4 came out for the arcade last summer, but there was no American arcade release because there are no American arcades anymore, except for a handful that we have here in SoCal, New York. So we were lucky enough here to get an imported version of the game. And so we got a jump start on everybody else in the country because we got the game early and there was plenty of places here that had, you know, the arcade version. So I started playing in August, and from August to February, you know, me and all the other players down here, we were playing nonstop. Like, I would wake up, go to the arcade, stay, you know, 10 hours would pass, and then it would be time to go home. Now it's a little bit different because, you know, I have other things that I have to do. You know, I have the website, I have the podcast, I have events that I have to go to and that I have to put on myself. So obviously, I don't have 30 hours a day to practice anymore. So now it's really, like, I'll play, it's really more about quality than quantity now for me, personally, because when one of the top players calls me, like, you know, Edma or Combo Fiend or Alex Valle, they'll be like, hey, we're going to play tonight, or, you know, do you want to play? We're going to be here or there. Then that's where, those are my plans for the night, you know. But as for sitting at home in training mode, I don't do that as much anymore, especially now that EVO's over. But definitely, if you're trying, I mean, I guess it sounds like I don't play very often or something, but to me, it's like I got all of my playing done months before people had the game for PS3 and Xbox. So it's like, if you're just getting into the game, yeah, you're gonna need to spend that 30 hours a day to catch up with the best of the best. Otherwise, you'll never be able to catch up. But me and a lot of the other SoCal players put that time in before everybody else did. So our situation is a little different.
All right, very cool, very cool. Well, let's get to some questions. We mentioned some of the tournaments and how you've revved up. So now you're on a little vacation because the tournaments are sort of done.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little about EVO. Was in
let's talk
Vegas.
About EVO. Yes.
What's the vibe when you go to EVO?
Wow. The vibe at EVO, for anybody who wasn't there, and it's really unfortunate that a lot of people couldn't make it. I mean, okay, there were 2,000, 3,000 people there. I don't know how many people were there. But the vibe at EVO itself was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. I've never been to anything like that before, and I think it really opened the eyes of a lot of people who were sitting on the sidelines for Street Fighter 4. And I'm talking specifically about, you know, companies who were thinking about doing stuff with Street Fighter 4 and then were not quite sure what the audience was like. But I think EVO really proved that the Street Fighter audience, specifically Street Fighter 4, I mean, it's like there weren't even any other games there.
That definitely
was all Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, that was the highlight, the main attraction.
God, it was amazing. I mean, I have pictures on my phone that I took from the stage of the crowd, and it's amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The vibe was incredible.
So, Gootecks, I was in the chat room watching the final match, Justin and Daigo. 20,000 people in the chat room, few thousand people there in the audience.
It was actually 500,000 over the 3 days altogether. Yeah.
So insane. Now, when I turn on ESPN, I get like poker, I get like billiards, I get like cup stacking competition. How do we get Street Fighter 4 or other fighting games and esports on TV? Is that possible?
The way that I think it has to be done is it has to be done by us. It's kind of the way that I think about it is the way that I guess indie bands and musicians approach, well, the smart ones approach their careers. It's like, well, we can try to go and sell out to a major label now and try to get this money, or we can tour, put out our albums ourselves, go around the country like that independently. And then we'll be able to negotiate a much better deal when the major labels take notice because, hey, we've already sold, X number of thousands of albums. We've already toured, around X number of cities. So I think that in order for esports and Street Fighter 4 in particular to get that big and go that mainstream to be on ESPN, it's either going to have to happen that way or straight up MLG is going to have to pick it up because MLG is the one with the relationship with ESPN.
All right, very good. Good points. Good points. We got a shout out from Tia Marie from Justin TV.
Oh,
says she's watching. So you want to give her a shout out back or anything?
Yes. She sent me a text message of which I cannot repeat the contents of last night. So yeah, hey.
All right.
Not even like that. Not even like that. But
way more interesting.
That's its own little show there. Haley, I want to get over to our chatters. Thank you, Tia, for that. How are things going on your end? Do we have some concerns coming in for Gootecks?
I don't think concerns, but questions, yes. Let's
Yeah, what
see.
do we got?
So Scoff wants to know, what were your thoughts on your performance at the Street Fighter 4 finals in San Fran?
San Francisco, Street Fighter 4 finals. Did you go up to that one?
yes, I was.
That was like a giant screen one, right?
That was amazing. I got to be a special guest. They flew me up there because I won this tournament over here at City Walk. So me and Edma, we got to go up there, and it was like a Street Fighter vacation because we went up there and we got to see the event, which was absolutely incredible, and probably the best presentation of Street Fighter 4 that I've seen so far. But we didn't even have to play.
That's cool. That's cool.
It was great.
Haley, you got some more for us?
Wait, did you just say you didn't have to play?
No, we didn't have to play.
He's like, what were your thoughts on your performance? Bad question.
Just they just showed up, hung out,
Yeah, it was great. We were up in front. We got to cheer on our friends that were in the finals. Mike Ross and Justin Wong, and it was a lot of fun. Straight up vacation.
All right, let me ask you about Justin.
Yeah.
Now, Justin, we interviewed Justin at E3. Quiet guy, very shy, very mellow. I'm watching him going up against the Beast, and he's dancing around every time he wins a match, cheering, going nuts.
Yeah, it was great.
Is that what we need? Do we need to go nuts? Because it was like the complete opposite. The Beast was like no emotion at all.
Well, you have to understand.
I ate it up.
I ate it up too, man. I mean, I definitely think that that's what we need. And the funny part is when people start to call Justin a poor sport or a showboat or something like that, because he does stuff like that. But really, what you have to understand about Justin is that he has the same mentality that I do, which is that this is a show. We're trying to put on a show. And that, even though Daigo's a great player, Daigo's show is strictly on in the game. When you're watching him in the crowd, he's just sitting there playing. But Justin is like interacting with the crowd and getting people riled up. And whether you like it or you hate it, the fact that it stirs an emotion in you is a good thing, and that's what he's going for. And I think that's great.
Yeah, I loved it. I ate it up. I was going nuts. Haley, what's going on your end there? We got time for a few questions. I'm gonna wrap things up. Gootecks has got a surprise announcement, a couple announcements for the show, but let's get back to you. A couple questions on your end.
I have a lot of questions. So DJ Bobo wants to know, what's the name of your podcast and how do we listen to it?
Well, the name of my podcast is the Street Fighter Podcast.
Okay.
I got really creative with the name. And you can find that at Gootecks.com. And I just put out a new episode today, which is episode number 28, featuring Edma, who got us third at EVO. And the one that I put out before was the one with Justin.
Oh, very cool, very cool. And I met Ed at one of your tournaments. He's playing the female character a lot, the Crimson Viper.
Oh,
is he
no,
switching over?
Ed was playing Viper a while back, but since then he's switched to Akuma, and he's been tearing it up with Akuma.
All right, so all you Akuma guys, talk to Ed. He'll teach you what to do. Haley, tell me what else we got going on over there.
Well, the other guy wants to know, how has the tournament scene changed since you first got into it?
The tournament scene has changed since, back in the day, which was, I guess, about 2003, in the sense that now there's a lot more. It feels like there's a stronger community, and also now we have things like live streaming, and that's probably the biggest thing, is the live streaming, I would say, because that was not even a thought in people's minds not too long ago. but now you can stream all your tournaments all the time, and everybody can watch it for free at home.
Yeah, that was really cool because I couldn't make it out to Vegas for Evo and,
Right.
and everything. Haley, got another one for me?
Aliens 300 wants to know, are there any characters in Street Fighter 4 that have cheap combos that can make other players mad in a tournament? Sorry, I've been sick. If so, which character?
Wow.
There are some cheap characters and cheap moves. Which ones take the cake?
The ones that take the cake definitely are Sagat's combos, just because they do about 25 to 30% too much damage. Off the top of my head, anytime I get hit by one of Viper's ultras in some wacky combo, that always gets under my skin. In general, Street Fighter 4 isn't really like that, but those would be the places to start.
So we've mostly been talking Street Fighter 4. Is Tekken 6? Are people buzzing about that? Are we going to have like even more stuff going on later this year? I mean, how many more fighting games can we add to the table?
I guess it just depends on what happens with Street Fighter 4. If Street Fighter 4 gets picked up by MLG or WCG or some other organization that comes and really does something with it, then yeah, I think the future for fighting games is a lot brighter. Unfortunately, or realistically, Tekken 6 doesn't have quite the support that Street Fighter does. So I think that Street Fighter will open doors for other games as it opens doors for itself.
All right, very cool. Haley, we got time for 2 more, and then we're going to get to some the Gootecks surprise here.
Ooh,
See how we
surprise.
Oh, now
we tease it.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, we're teasing it. Haley, we got time for a couple more.
IP Samurai wants to know, they heard that you're teaching private lessons on Street Fighter 4 and other games in the genre. Is this true?
Yes,
And if
they heard
so,
that.
how can people, I guess, take your class?
Yeah, that is true. I started doing private one-on-one training with people not too long ago. And if people are interested, they can send me an email, gootecks@gootecks.com, or hit me up on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people get up in arms about stuff like that, but to me, it's no different than somebody who was like a guitar player in a band teaching you how to play guitar.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. If people start bringing in apples, I might get a little concerned as the instructor. Haley, you got one more for us?
Main fatality. I wonder if that's fatality. I don't know. And it wants to know, is Gootecks going to SBO this year? And if so, what games are you going to go for?
So far, unless a plane ticket magically drops in my lap, I am not going to SBO because I didn't qualify I didn't qualify, but I also didn't enter because I was the one that was setting up and doing the commentary for the live SBO stream along with Slasher. So that's a huge reason. I mean, if I'm not gonna go if I didn't qualify.
Right.
So,
That makes sense. You
yeah.
know, unless you're gonna.
But I went last
support.
year. I went last year for Third Strike. So.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, we've been teasing some. I get you announcements, surprises. What would you like to talk about first?
Well, I guess what we could talk about is a little. Well, it's
A little. I don't know if little is the word here.
It's not little. It's very big. But it's a. Well, I set up an eBay auction, and first off, the proceeds of the auction are going to the SBO qualifiers, the guys that won the tournament, which are Combo Fiend and Alex Valle, to help pay for travel expenses because, in case you didn't know, going to Japan is not a cheap trip.
Yeah.
So what we have here. Oh.
Let me hold your mic for
Yes.
a second.
What we have here, let me lean back like that. This is a 20 by 30, framed print of the Mike Ross Believe photo, which was taken at SPO quals at Denjin Arcade during the qualifiers by Kara Lung. And this was, for those that aren't familiar, this was pretty much one of the most memorable moments in Street Fighter history because Mike Ross, pretty much the people's champion, made this amazing comeback during the match. And so Kara was, skilled enough to catch this awesome photo. And so you can see right here, we have Kino, and then there's Mike Ross down there at the bottom, and there's Ed Ma right there getting hype, And Combo Fiend, oh my god, he's like, oh my god. And then there's Shu right there and Kenai right there. Pretty much like this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is the greatest Street Fighter photo of all time. So yeah, we're putting it up for auction on eBay, so you can go to Gootecks.com and it's right there on the front page.
Okay.
And all the proceeds are going to help pay for travel expenses for Combo Fiend and Vi because it's expensive to go to Japan.
Very cool.
And
yes.
I mean, you know, they're representing America. And for those that don't know, there's only 2 American teams that get to go to SBO, and the rest are Japanese teams.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. So well, we definitely want to get Combo Fiend and the rest of the team out there. So so it's just you go to tell me the site again.
Gootecks.com, Gootecks.com, and it's right there on the front page.
Anything else before we let you go?
Yeah, we have. I have an exciting announcement about Bar Fights 2 coming up very soon. That is in the works. So anybody who wants more information about that, just stay tuned to Gootecks.com.
Stay tuned. Yeah, Hailey, I met Ryan in Bar Fights. I actually brought the little flyer along.
Yeah,
so I was excited.
that's where we met.
It was like,
isn't that cute?
I mean, I went there and I was like, Bar Fights, it's like Fight Club. There's going to be people angry and mad and going nuts and stuff. But
we're
no,
all just getting drunk.
Bunch of kids chilling, playing Street Fighter, getting to compete, play some of the pros. It's very cool. So I'm looking forward to Bar Fights too. Hopefully it'll be close to me in Santa Monica.
Are you guys going to come out? Oh, it's not. Yeah, sorry, it's not going to be close to you. But are you going to come out anyways?
Can I still bid on the picture? Is that okay?
We're going to have a VIP section there.
Okay,
so.
Yeah, definitely. Hailey, we got to come and check out Bar Fights too.
Yeah, you and Hailey come down. It's going to be awesome.
Cool. Hailey, excited? Bar Fights. We should MC it or something, like me and you in the corner, like on our own little podcast show.
That would be really fun.
I've been practicing. Jab, jab, fierce, fierce, strong, strong, jump, jump. Am I close? Because you do a pretty heck of a good job commentating.
Thank you.
We didn't even talk about that, but you're a good color commentary person.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean it can be hard. But yeah, I mean, you know, you got to know everybody's backstory.
Ryan, that's the class I'm going to take, the commentary class. When you start teaching those, sign me up, all right? I'll bring an apple for that. Hailey, we're going to wrap things up. Ryan, you've been a good sport about Street Fighter and showing me how to mess around my arcade stick, things like that. Hailey, anything else over on your way there before we wrap things up?
No.
Well, Hailey, let me say bye to Brian as well. Brian, I don't know if you have a camera on you. Brian Gramo from Stream.tv. We love you. Give yourself a shout. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Brian. I have it on the wide for when we go
go.
out. Yeah, that's my camera's right here, guys. So
he's wiggling it.
It's on the studio right now.
So Ryan, we want everybody to check out your site. You've been a good sport. We want to thank the Nerdiest Kids posse here. Let me get the sign. Nerdiest Kids are in the house.
The collective.
Get your tournament on getyourtournament.com.
Getyourtournament.com.
In the house. Rad Nerd is over there. A couple of guys without websites. The DCD is in the house. Ryan, let me shake your hand. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you so much for having me.
Coin Up TV Live. We'll see you guys next week on the Stream.tv. We love you. We miss you. We'll see you guys. Woo!